I think City Kitty in the chat said it best. Andy, did we just see SummerSlam night number 3? What an epic ending to Monday Night Raw. We are live right here for the third night in a row. I could get used to this. I don't know about you, Andy. But welcome to Squared Circle Radio right here on our YouTube channel. Of course, if you're watching on replay or you're listening on podcast, we don't want to leave you out either. Thank you all for being here. If it's your first time or if you're a returning guest, we appreciate your support so much. My name is Chris Belcher. The young buck Andy York is back with me tonight. And Andy, it was a mind-blowing end to both nights of SummerSlam in many ways. And tonight, Andy, we seemingly saw a repeat of the ending of the night after WrestleMania, the Vision, as they're seemingly called, Seth Rollins and his crew standing tall over CM Punk and over Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like in some ways we're right back to square one where we started with this whole story. It's been a wild weekend. I mean, when I said a couple nights ago, I think it was on the post show for night one, that the landscape of WWE is going to look very different coming out of SummerSlam. I did not expect it to be what it's been. And so there's so much to dive into, and there's so much to talk about, because everything, it feels like a completely different company in some ways overnight. And that's weird to think about.
Isn't it? Yeah, it really is. It's man, I started last night's show by just saying I'm speechless, and I still, like you just put it perfectly, man. It's almost like it's a new company. It's like, I don't know. It's like we have a renewed paint of coat, as Bruce Pritchard likes to call it, aka coat of paint, on this Seth Rollins group. A lot of people online hating on it and blaming the ratings and all that kind of stuff. Of course, I'm talking about Rollins siding with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman, standing tall, like I said, at the end of Monday Night Raw, after not successful defense. I'd say successful because he's still the champion, but a DQ finish in this LA Knight championship match, thanks to CM Punk getting involved. Man, just a wild ending. And of course, Roman Reigns making a surprise appearance. I'm glad it was him instead of Jey Uso, if I'm being honest. But dude, we're planting the seeds for Roman and Seth. We're still doing it, and I love it so much.
Yeah, I think it's one of those we're going to do forever and may never get to see the actual match between the two, because things just keep coming up. I feel like we've been planting the seeds, I mean, all the way since the Shield split up, and probably even before then. Like we've been planting seeds for a while. Yeah, I love what we're kind of setting up, because we are planting those seeds, but it also seems like we're going to get a massive multi-man match at Clash in Paris too, which is what I'm kind of picking up on.
Oh, I was always saying we're already planting seeds for War Games, and there's one of those coming around. So
Yeah. I think we could see that. I think we get the multi-man match before at Clash of Paris for the world title, where it's probably
you're saying, okay, I'm with you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Seth versus Roman versus Punk versus LA Knight. Maybe throw in Jey Uso and just have a 5-way.
Wow, let's go.
Yeah, and then I mean that could lead right into War Games, where you've got your 4 baby faces of Roman, Punk, Jay, and LA Knight versus Seth, his 2, and a third of another person, throw somebody else in there.
I mean, I think I said this as I was texting with somebody today. I don't know if I said it on the podcast last night or not, but I mean, it looks like we're headed to War Games with Roman, Punk, Jay, Cody, and Cena versus Rollins, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Brock Lesnar, and I don't know who that 5th guy is, but I mean, that you don't even need another match on the Survivor Series card with that much star power in a War Games match.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the lineup that I think a lot of people are looking at right now. There's a lot of different areas they could probably go in, but that's definitely, I mean, that's probably right at the top of the lineup for them.
Man, I appreciate you guys being tuned in with us. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We would appreciate that so much. Share the show, get the word out. You reach more people than we do. Tell a friend. Let's build this community up here. And again, if you're listening just on podcast, make sure you are following and subscribing on whatever platform that you have chosen. We appreciate that so much. I mentioned just a few minutes ago that we've been live the last couple of days. Andy and I also dropped a bonus episode last Thursday on the Unreal series. So we haven't forgotten about that. We did a whole episode on it. So go back and check it out wherever you listen to podcasts and in the YouTube archives. We dropped 35 minutes or so on the Unreal doc. So go check that out. But man, now let's circle back here to this World Championship match before all the shenanigans happened at the end. I'm really, really happy that we've now circled back to this Seth Rollins LA Knight match that seemingly we were, quote, robbed of at Saturday night's main event, even though, Andy, like we talked, they went 15, 16 minutes before the injury angle happened anyway. So I'm just glad that LA Knight got the first shot to keep him in this world title picture, because obviously the Gunther shadow, even though he's going to be out, the CM Punk shadow, that's looming over the championship. But let's get LA Knight some love in there too.
Yeah, I'm glad that he got this opportunity, and I'm glad he's kind of right in the middle of all of this.
Yeah.
And maybe, finally getting to be part of the main event, seeing that he should have been in for a while now. I really, honestly, my first thought when he first came out was, okay, we're doing this to make up for Saturday night's main event. We're literally just going to feed LA Knight to Seth as a first opponent, and then we'll come back from here. But I think they did a great job of doing what they did tonight. I'm not a huge fan of disqualification finishes, but I think it made sense tonight. I also think it makes sense with Punk costing LA Knight. Maybe we're starting to plant seeds of an LA Knight heel turn at some point down the line.
Love it.
Maybe he turns on Punk, and then we get a feud between Punk and LA Knight, because I can tell you those promo battles between those two would be fantastic week to week and going back and forth. So I think there's just a lot of directions they can go in. I think there's a lot of ways they can go in. So I was really glad that they gave LA Knight that opportunity.
You honestly could just not even have a world championship match on Clash in Paris. You could have the one world title be Cody's championship and him defending it. And you could have Punk and LA Knight, even if it's a babyface type match.
Yeah.
Just both of them toe that line. Both of them play that heel and can go back and forth as far as that goes. So you could just go those guys one-on-one. Maybe Roman's not on the card. Maybe who knows? Maybe that's where you get Roman versus Breaker for the first time. Lots of different ways you could go. And of course, you can insert Seth Rollins in there. But I really like where they're headed with this and keeping this title picture fresh. I thought it was hilarious, man. If you look back on Seth Rollins revealing this all was a hoax, and the way he talked about it. Tonight, he said that the only people that knew were Heyman and Becky and Andy. That sort of, rang the bell for me that, wait, Breaker didn't know. Are we driving the wedge between these two a little more? So that could be interesting. And then, man, I don't know if you caught this or not, but Seth was on the Rich Eisen show earlier today, and he had to explain how he told his daughter that he was not really injured. And just that, go listen to the story if you haven't, if you're watching and you haven't watched that interview. It's hilarious, her reaction and what happens after that. It's so funny, Andy. But I know we were kind of critical about faking an injury and this, that, and the other. And I think it just feeds into Rollins and this power that he has now, because we saw the confrontation with Pierce, as Raw went off the air.
Yeah, I think it definitely plays its part. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think at that, when you start to blur that line, then anything is up for possibility. Yep. Anything is up for, any kind of feedback or anything, and then fans just go crazy with it, anything and everything. So I'm not a huge fan of it. Although it worked. I mean, the work worked in this situation, in this case, yes. And they played it really, really close to the chest. Him coming in and cashing in and everything was such a massive moment at SummerSlam. And then they've kind of built off of it even more tonight. So I think it's probably worked the way they wanted it to work. But I don't really want to see it again in the future of playing an injury. Depending on the situation or the circumstances, if you can clearly tell that it's they're working an injury, but they're not actually like hurt or whatever. I think that's one thing. But to do it with the knee that Seth has had issues with, and then like I don't know how they made the knee buckle like it did on the Swanton and everything else because it looked legit.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know how they were able to play that off.
Seth Rollins is just the best in-ring performer of our generation. I keep going back to that.
Every week you say that, and I
know
he's
it's
one
true.
of.
It's
One
true.
Of.
He is. He is number one of our generation.
No, one of.
Number one. He is.
He's
He's
the Bret Hart of our generation over Shawn Michaels. I get it.
And that is the furthest thing from the truth. We're not even. Listen, if CM Punk is Bret Hart, Seth Rollins is Shawn Michaels all day long, and we know how all that ended. So I'm just saying. Just saying. Oh my goodness. What a fun Monday Night Raw, man. Just this Seth Rollins thing. The crowd was hot. They were here for it, man. They were, I felt like they were in it all night long, and they were behind Seth singing his song. Super cool. We saw Becky Lynch get a new theme song. Lots of people are saying with this Seth Rollins heel run and trying to make him, you know, the top heel on Monday Night Raw, that he should get a new theme song. I'm not against that. Maybe that solidifies things a little bit more, but obviously, man, we're excited about this world title picture and seeing where the rest of this stuff goes with LA Knight in here. Like we said, Seth Rollins and, Jey Uso perhaps getting back in there, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, all the kind of things. I keep going back to this, Andy. I like your idea of the multi-man match at Clash in Paris. Maybe it's a fatal four-way to see who the number one contender is, and you throw them all in there kind of thing. I think that could be cool too.
Yeah, I think they ended the show with Seth and Pierce's face for a reason.
Yes.
And now he can kind of go back and say, oh, okay, you wanted to take all four guys out, or you want to take all three guys out. Here you go. All three of them now get a chance at your title at the same time at Clash. So I like that aspect of it. And I think that's part of what they've been playing up to.
Yep. I agree. All right, Andy, you were not able to be on with us last night for our night number 2 recap of SummerSlam. And Andy, if you thought we were shocked after night number 1, the seemingly unthinkable happened at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar returned. I'm still in shock. I said it on the podcast last night, and I'm going to say it again right now. Looking down at my notes for our show and seeing the name Brock Lesnar still makes me look twice. Like, I just can't believe that we're actually talking about Brock Lesnar coming back. You saw this, I'm not sure in real time, but when you saw this, what was your first thought?
So, full disclosure, I did not get to watch SummerSlam live last night because I previously had bought tickets to an event. And we literally got back in the car in the parking garage, and I saw from Bleacher Report Wrestling a notification that said Brock Lesnar returned. And I was like, I've seen things like that pop up before, and I'm like, that's, you know, whatever. Clicked on it, saw the video, and all I kept saying was, what? I just kept saying what over and over and over again. I honestly have no idea how I feel about this. I feel multiple ways about it. I figured this day would come at some point. I always thought Brock would come back for one more match at some point.
Yep.
I did not think it would be this soon. I thought we were still a couple years away from Brock coming back and getting another match. It's just, I don't know what to think. I don't even know where to start with kind of what I'm thinking.
Here's the way that I have sort of looked at it. I kind of laid it out like this last night too. And I'll reiterate for those of you who didn't catch last night's show. Again, it speaks to me because like, I need to hear myself say it. WWE, TKO, and Endeavor acted so quickly and so swiftly when it came to all of this legal stuff with Vince and all of that. And we've really shied away from talking about it on this podcast because everybody else has talked about it and you can go read it for yourself. We don't need to dive into it. But what I think is because they acted so swiftly the first time, they've dotted their I's and crossed their T's on this, and we're never going to know. Like, I just don't think that's something that we're ever going to find out the full truth about what happened, how he's been cleared, because by them acting so swiftly to start with, Andy, I don't think they would have pulled him back in and say, oh, let's just put him on TV and it'll settle itself out. I don't think they're going to do that because of the backlash that they would receive. They're already receiving a lot of it, but I think the point that I'm trying to make is people are so quick to jump to conclusions that WWE is just saying, oh, well, just forget about it. It doesn't matter. When in all actuality, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes with all of this legal stuff. We truly do not know. All we're doing is speculating. The fact of the matter is Brock Lesnar is back on our television screen, and WWE, Nick Khan, Triple H, Ari Emanuel, The Rock, all of those guys have done their due diligence. We have to just trust that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they have. Otherwise, this is going to come back to bite them big time.
Yep.
Which, you know, maybe it could be the case or whatever. I think as a whole, one thing Triple H is not good at is PR. I don't think he is good at PR at all because it seemed like, first of all, well, I saw some of the press conference, or not press conference, because they randomly stopped doing the press conference Sunday afternoon.
Why?
I wonder why. Yeah. Which I always thought the press conferences were dumb to do anyway.
They didn't do it Saturday night either.
Yeah, but just randomly on SummerSlam, these two things just, you know, happened to line up at the same time. But on the post show, he was very quick to kind of throw Cena under the bus. Of just like, yeah, we talked about people that Cena wanted to face on his retirement tour, and Brock Lesnar like is here now, and this, that, and the other. The crowd was also very evidently chanting, "We want Cross," and he was like, "Yeah, I know you guys want Brock." It's like we have ears, we can hear. He's got to work on his PR side of things a little bit. Because I'm not going to talk about like the moral side of this. Is this right or wrong to bring Brock back? Because that's a debate that can happen all day long, and everybody's going to have different opinions and different sides of things.
For sure.
I will say this. I don't think WWE needs Brock.
I agree.
I don't think they need to bring Brock back from a wrestling perspective or from a wrestling side of things. If Cena wants Brock for one final match, I would not be shocked if this was just a one-off and then Brock is not seen again for a little while. This is just a one-time match that we get between these two guys, and then Brock goes back to, you know, living on his farm, doing whatever he does, you know, up there, getting bigger and stronger somehow as he gets older. I don't think WWE needs Brock Lesnar anymore, and I think they've proven that the last couple of years. I don't know. It's a weird feeling hearing his music being played, seeing him come out, because one, it's been so long, and two, how everything just kind of ended with him. It's such a shock to the system. Undisputed Era reference. There you go. To see him back and to see him, you know, right in the mix of things. The crowd popped because of the shock factor. I'm very curious to see what the reaction is going to be from here on out. I mean, he's not on Friday. He's not advertised for Friday, which is smart because they're in Canada, and it's probably not going to be a good reaction for Brock there. But when they get stateside,
he lives in Canada.
That doesn't mean anything.
I'm just saying.
I don't think that means anything. I think it's going to be interesting.
I think it would be better than you think, but I think you're right. I think they have to play their cards right when they do this. They have to be very careful. I would not be shocked if it's a one-off, but I will say this. Next year, SummerSlam is where? Brock Lesnar's hometown of Minneapolis. So
yeah,
I think we could be, I probably won't be done the way that Cena has been done, but I would say we're leading to a final Brock Lesnar match at next year's SummerSlam. However they get there, I don't know. I mentioned him earlier. I would love to see Brock in War Games. I think you could have Brock beat Cena at whatever show, fill in the gap, and then Cena gets his win back in War Games over Brock, and that's sort of the way that you write them apart from each other. I will say this, I have to correct myself. Last night on the podcast, I said that Brock's last appearance in WWE was at WrestleMania 39 in LA. That is not true. His last appearance was SummerSlam 2023 that year against Cody Rhodes. So that is my bad on that. I'm with you in the fact that I don't think WWE needs Brock Lesnar. I think it's definitely a hard left turn. Not even forget the circumstances, forget the legal beagle that is going on. It's a hard left turn to bring Brock Lesnar back in. It really is.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they handle it.
I also am very curious, because if this was part of the decision, then this kind of leads into another conversation, which, you said we didn't have a whole lot to talk about tonight. This could lead us down a rabbit hole real quickly. So I'm in my Jared Justice bag tonight.
There we go. Shout out.
But if they turn Cena face just for this moment and just for this match between Brock and him, is this the worst heel run that we have probably seen in a long time?
I don't think that we turn Cena just for this. I really don't. And I think we have the benefit of hindsight looking back at the heel run, because I think everybody who was excited about Brock and shocked with Brock and excited about this, John Cena being a babyface again, and shocked and excited about Seth Rollins, I think all of those feelings were exactly how everybody felt at the end of Elimination Chamber. Like the way that was executed and the way that particular event was executed. I think everybody felt extremely excited, and we wanted to see how it was going to go. And it was new territory for everybody. And we knew that it was going to be Rocky. And then, pun intended, Rocky takes himself out of it. And then we're really stuck. And I think they made the best out of what they had. Now, again, do I think the heel run was a success? Depends on how you look at it, Andy. He still sold t-shirts like a madman, and we still got dream matchups that we wanted to see. We just saw John Cena in a different way. Did he wrestle fantastic at SummerSlam against Cody? Yeah, because he was comfortable, because he was a babyface. Wrestling as a heel is not comfortable to John, and we saw that, and we're quick to be critical of that. But you got to give him a little bit of credit for taking a swing just to see. But I think people still were able to appreciate him.
I agree for the most part. I think the moment is still going to be as memorable as anything else. I think, we talked about as it happened or right after it happened, is this as memorable as Hogan's heel turn? I don't think it is anymore. I think it is very quickly fallen off that tier level of beloved babyface becomes heel now and joins the dark side or whatever. You're right. We do have the benefit of hindsight, and we do have the benefit of looking back. And the heel turn in the first couple weeks, the first really 2 weeks after the heel turn with the promos and stuff, were really, really interesting and intriguing. But then it just seemed like they didn't know what to do when it came to him cutting heel promos on people. Yeah. Because they didn't really let him say anything against Cody. They didn't really let him say anything against Randy or Punk or anybody like that. So it was just, I think there was a lot of potential left on the table, but they just kind of stopped. And they just kind of kept doing the same thing over and over and over again. I don't know if that was creative or if that was what Cena was comfortable with, but it never felt like it got off the ground, in my opinion. It just felt like it stayed right where it was until it eventually just crashed and burned until we had to turn him babyface. And then we're doing this program now with Brock. So there was a lot, like the moment itself, like you mentioned, the event itself, was it a success? Absolutely. But everything that happened afterwards, I would say a majority of it was not good. or even great. I think a lot of it was subpar, or that WrestleMania match. The SummerSlam match made me even madder about the WrestleMania match because of how good the SummerSlam match was. Could you imagine if we got something better at WrestleMania? There's a lot of potential left on the table, I feel like, that we just didn't even look at.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how to dissect it, because on one hand, I totally agree with you. Like, I feel like they could have personally attacked people more. Cena could have done some different things. But in the end, like, I go back to, it was better that somebody was a heel and somebody was a face when Cena faced Orton. And same thing with CM Punk. And it was different to see those roles reversed. And I thought the exchange of the Cena pipe bomb and the Punk doing the thugonomic stuff was really good. I know when I was at SmackDown in Lexington, that crowd was hot for that Punk promo and the Cena Cody work that they did. And then the stuff at Backlash, that Orton match was actually really good. The WrestleMania match, I can't say much about because it was John's first match as a heel, and they're just trying to figure it out. It was what it was. Everybody knew it wasn't going to be a 5-star classic. Then you add some weapons in at SummerSlam. Then you add a little bit of danger to the fact. Then you get two guys who have both said they're willing to do whatever it takes to win a match. And ultimately, it ends with Cody winning the match. And exactly what we talked about, Andy, the sign of respect to solidify John as a babyface. So no, I don't think this was done just for Brock. I think this was done to pass the torch to Cody Rhodes in the right way. A lot of speculation that you could have done Cena Cody as Cena's last match to be able to pass the torch. Clearly they're doing something else with that. We might not get a part 3 in this series, and that's okay if I'm being honest. But I think in order to properly pass the torch to Cody Rhodes, Cena has to be a babyface in order for the fans to respond the way they did last night at SummerSlam. So did the Brock thing have something to do with it? Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. But I think, Andy, once they made the decision to pull the trigger on the heel turn, we talked about it. He was always going back at some point. It was just a matter of when. And they chose SummerSlam, the halfway point, as the win.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that makes a lot of sense looking at it that way. I don't know. It just felt like the face turn just felt so rushed and out of nowhere. Because I know they've been playing for it a couple weeks, but like 2 weeks before, he was like, I'm not even supposed to be at SummerSlam, and then Cody signed his contract and everything else. It felt like a very rushed choice to turn him back to being the babyface.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. I don't know that it was rushed. I think they did the sequence of events out of order. What I mean by that is if Cody would have cut the I want the old John Cena promo first.
Yeah.
Then they do the contract signing after that, where Cena comes out and says, you're not getting the old John Cena. You're not getting John Cena, period, because I'm in no condition to compete, et cetera, et cetera. And then Cody beats it out of him at the contract signing. Then the face turn comes and Cena says, you know what? You're absolutely right. You made me realize that, et cetera, whatever the promo is. So I think if they flip those two events, because the guys on Busted Open said the exact same thing this morning, and I'm literally yelling in the car. I'm like, they did that. They just did it out of order. So I truly think if they would have reversed the order, it wouldn't have felt as rushed as it seemingly did.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. After seeing, especially we talked about it, with the Unreal stuff of like, this came out at a specific time, probably for a specific reason and playing into things. The heel turn seemed sort of a last minute decision.
Yep.
And now the babyface turn seems like a last minute decision.
Sure.
So it feels like this is the first time in the Triple H era, or at least one of the most recognizable times that they did this big story with no end goal in sight other than having this moment, and they didn't know when this moment was going to happen. And then, if the reports are right or whatever Triple H and Nick Khan said that 4 weeks ago they got it cleared by WWE legal for Brock to come back. Well, 4 weeks ago would have been what? Right after
Beginning of July, yeah. So
right after King of the Ring.
Right after King of the Ring, yeah.
So seeing that Brock got cleared and Cena probably won this match with Brock, it just seemed like, okay, now we got to turn him back to being a babyface again to get this moment with Brock. So we have to, speed rush through this Cody segment. Not speed rush, but we have to get through this Cody part, and then we can move on to the Brock part and have babyface Cena back. So it didn't feel like it was a complete story. It just felt bits and pieces and rushed at parts.
Yep. Well, we know that Cena is going to speak on Friday. They advertised that. Also, Cody Rhodes is going to speak on Friday on SmackDown coming up. So we will see how that shakes out. City Kitty in the chat, thank you for being here. I love the passing of the torch in this match and the clean finish with no interference. No, everybody was kind of worried about that. Andy, before we break the match down, let's take a little pause for the cause and hear a little word from our friends at SportsWire Radio.
Looking for all the latest happenings in the world of sports and wrestling? Well, you're in luck because SportsWire Radio has you covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. With great shows in the world of sports, such as the Pinstripe Chronicles, hosted by Uncle Tats, Donald Stewart, and Rob Barrows. New York Baseball Talk with Chris Bazaya and Rob Maraska. The Liftoff Jets, also hosted by Chris Bazaya and Sharman Phillip. Neil Villapiano and the Devil's State of Mind. Randy Dillon's Hockey Fan Chat. In the world of wrestling, SportsWire Radio has you covered with Squared Circle Radio, featuring Chris Belcher, Andy York, and Jared Justice. Those sit-down marks with DB, Primo, AJ, and Michael. A work in progress, featuring the Mayor of Canton, Piles, and Glenn Abbott. You can catch all of these great shows and more anytime, anywhere, and any place via the Listen Live button on SportsWireRadio.org, and you can also catch SportsWire Radio anytime on YouTube at SportsWire Radio 6579 to catch all the latest happenings in the world of wrestling. SportsWire Radio has you covered. It's all sports matters and all wrestling matters here on SportsWire Radio. I am your host, the owner of SportsWire Radio, the #1 global radio station, the owner of the Promo Wrestling Federation, and one of the owners of the Pride Wrestling Federation. Your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters, the Reverend Tom Bryce.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate your support as always. If you're listening to us right now on SportsWire Radio, make sure you keep it locked in right here for all of that great content. If this is your first time checking out our show on one of our platforms, make sure you subscribed as well. We would appreciate that support. Like this video, drop some comments, questions in the chat. We will be sure to answer each and every one of those. This is Squared Circle Radio Live. That's the Young Buck, Andy York, and my name is Chris Belcher, and we are still breaking down the shock and the awe of the Brock Lesnar return and the John Cena babyface turn and the Cody Rhodes championship win and the Seth Rollins cash in and the Roman Reigns and the this, the that, the that. It's like the WrestleMania of the summer, Andy. It's kind of what we've been talking about. That's what we're trying to build this as. So that's where we're at here. You mentioned just a few minutes ago how the WrestleMania match makes you just that much more upset after seeing the SummerSlam match and what the potential of Cody Rhodes versus John Cena could be. Let me just tell you, this match was match of the year candidate in top of the running right now for me. Like, I thought it was just fantastic. And the moment that just made it for me, and I think it made it for the crowd too, was this salute from Cody Rhodes. This was the "I'm sorry, I love you" from Shawn Michaels to Ric Flair. It's exactly what this was, with Cody just sending Cena off and saying, I, for lack of a better term, Shawn said this to Flair, I got to put old Yeller down. And Cody did just that, regaining his championship. What an incredible match it was, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, this was Cena turning the clocks back and showing us a lot of the old school Super Cena. Which, by the way, I don't know if I've ever heard Super Cena chanted before in a
I
good
know, me
way,
either. Yeah.
but that was insane to see that. There were just so many moments in this match that I absolutely loved from the beginning when they hugged. And then, like, you can read Cena's lips, and he said, "Now we have to fight." And they just started throwing hands and everything that we got. Maybe one of the coolest shots in wrestling of him holding Cody as they come up from the Cody Vader with the
So
smoke
cool.
filling it.
So
Just
cool, dude.
it was it necessary? Probably not. Was it amazing? Yes, it was absolutely amazing. And I'm telling you, some of those AAs he hit, like he properly threw Cody. He didn't just pick him up and slam him down. He straight up threw Cody. So this has probably been my favorite Cena match since those Styles matches.
Yes.
Probably since the one at the Rumble. Was that 2016? I think that was
17.
Yeah, I think this has probably been the best Cena has looked.
Yep.
Since then. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing.
I mean, he looked great when Taker squashed him at WrestleMania 34, but there's that. Let's see. City Kitty hitting us up here in the chat. I see your comment about Cody and Seth. I would assume that's going to be Crown Jewel Perth, which is October. Andy, is that right?
I think so.
Or early November, one of the two. I can't remember which one, but Crown Jewel is in Perth this year. That's normally where they do that. Yes, this was what I was going to bring up too, City Kitty, is that Cena told Cody he just saw his best and he beat his best. Yeah. Reading his lips after the match, Cena said, "That's all I got. That's it. That's all I got." So you look back, Andy, at how cool this is, not only for Cena to pass the torch, but for Cody to be given the ball again. You look back at that Monday Night Raw where they met in the aisleway and Cody asked him for one more match. He wanted to go against him, and that sort of planted the seeds. We saw in the Unreal doc, Andy, that this was always the match for John Cena at WrestleMania. Like, we saw a bunch of things change at WrestleMania for injuries or whatever reason, but this was always the match for John Cena at WrestleMania. This was always the feud for this year, for his final run, and we got it. We passed the torch. Cody Rhodes is the guy. And like you said, we saw some incredible things from John Cena in the ring, and I mentioned it earlier. I think it was because he was comfortable. He was able to just go out there and enjoy himself and be John Cena. Comfort, good wrestling, all of that stuff. Andy, I thought what's on your screen right now on the YouTube channel, I thought this was it. I thought he was going to choke Cody out with the bottom rope. I really did. I was scared this was the ending of the match.
Yeah, so obviously I had this spoiled for me before I was able to actually sit down and watch it, because I didn't realize that it takes like 4 hours for the replay to come back on Peacock. So it took me
terrible, man. It takes forever.
It takes forever. So I had already seen it. The part that got me, even though I knew Cody was going to win, was the Super AA off the rope. And that was like the 6th AA he took.
Yep.
And he kicked out of it. And I literally was like, what? Super Cena is meeting Super Cody right now. And this is literally passing of the torch, because I don't remember how many exactly Cody took. He took a lot of AAs and kept kicking out of them. And the crowd bit on every single one of them.
I bit on all of them. I could not believe that it was going the way that it was going. And Andy, I think we said it on Saturday night. There were not a lot of false finishes with finishers on Saturday night. I think we made that point. And there wasn't a whole lot on Sunday night either until this happened, which made you bite on every single one of them, especially when each of them hit 3 in a row. It was so well done. And there are a lot of people online who are upset because WWE fans get upset at AEW for hitting a bunch of finishers and etc. I'm not going to bash AEW for that. I'm not, because I enjoyed it. I think it's a little different, but the reason I think it's a little different is because that was the story that they were telling, and literally the whole card, both nights, set up for you to bite on all of that. So the whole thing was done intentionally. It wasn't just a match with a bunch of false finishes for the sake of that. It had a purpose. Not saying AEW does or doesn't. I'm not bashing on them. I'm just saying I truly think that was the point of why they did what they did.
Yeah, probably I would say so. And is Cena the first one to kick out of when Cody hits the 3 in a row? Because I don't think Roman did.
No, Roman didn't kick out of it.
And Brock didn't.
He might be.
I think Cena might be the first one, which makes total sense because of the whole Super Cena gimmick. I mean, that was his shtick, is that he did that.
I feel like Cody did it to Kevin and he kicked out, but I could be wrong.
I think he did all 3 to Kevin, but something happened where he didn't pin him.
Oh, you may be right. That's probably what I'm thinking.
I think it was something like that. But I think Cena's the first one to actually like kick out after taking all three of those. So there was just so many moments in this match that made me love it even more.
Yep.
And seeing that and then going back and seeing WrestleMania again just infuriates me that we got that. But if it led to get to the SummerSlam moment, then it was worth it in the end to get that moment, to get that reaction, to get such a classic match between these two.
Yep.
Man, and it goes down as one of the best SummerSlam main events that I can remember in a long time, in a very long time.
Yep, for sure. And John Cena continues to deliver at SummerSlam. You look back at the Roman Reigns match in 2021, it was a fantastic main event. And this one supersedes that for sure. But that one, right up there. So John Cena in his last SummerSlam definitely going out the right way. Andy, you weren't with us again last night's post show. If you missed that, Vacation Aaron was with us again, and he and I had a blast. So go check out that show if you haven't already. And if you want to hear our thoughts on night number 1, Andy, Aaron, and I, all 3 together. It was a blast. It was a fun time talking all about Seth Rollins cashing in and Jade Cargill and just the whole 9 yards. So go check out those shows in the archives. But Andy, we want to give you the chance. What else stuck out to you from last night's SummerSlam that you want to have the floor to talk about?
Oh man, the triple threat that kicked off the night was as good as I thought it was going to be. I thought they did a fantastic job.
It's really good.
And I love the way Naomi won. I think that, plays into that even more. I love that they're playing into this. Rhea can't beat Io and Rhea can't win at SummerSlam. Like I love that I love when super characters have these little flaws in them of people that can't get past. And I think that's such a nice touch for her. And then it was such a car crash of a match that the TLC match was just so good.
Yes, it was.
It was so good. Even when it came down to the 3 ladies in the ring beating the crap out of each other. And then we got that ridiculous Candice LeRae spot where she was flying through the ladder. And then it cuts to Montez Ford, who may have the best facial expressions in the business. Just all of it wrapped up together. It was chaos. It was pandemonium. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. I loved every single second of it.
Yeah, it was so good, man. I mean, you talk those 12 guys just wait, those 12 guys that were actually in the match, and then you add in Uncle Howdy and Eric Rowan, girls, and it was fantastic. It was so good. It was really, really good. They did my favorite thing was, and I mentioned this last night, was the around the horn table spots where they did a table spot in all 4 corners, and ending it with a Spanish fly on Dawkins was just wild, man.
And then you had Ciampa hanging upside down.
Dude, that was so good. I popped so much for that. I thought that was just
that was great.
Incredible, man. That was just incredible. When you went back and watched this, I want to ask you about this because Aaron and I agreed on this, and I'm not sure if it was just watching it in real time, but did the Becky Lyra match just drag on? Did you feel that at all?
I don't want to say it drug on. I think it was slow in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it picked up towards the end. It got pretty good towards the end. And then seeing Lyra do, crazy things with her hands tied together was pretty
Right.
interesting. But it was, I think the problem with that is we've seen this match, even if you add a stipulation to it, we've seen this match 4 different times now, I think.
Sure. Yep.
And 4 times like the last 3 months. And so I think it was hard for them to do anything different to, change our opinion or subvert our expectations.
Yep.
So I don't know if it was like that it drug on. I just think it's what we've seen already from them.
I would have taken like 7 to 10 minutes off that match and it would have been way more exciting. Yeah. Or I mentioned this on the podcast last night too. This is the one match that I feel like could have benefited from going to night number 1 instead of night 2 to give it a little more of a spotlight, because there were no stipulation matches on night 1. So if this one is the one that you move, like switch Jade Tiffany in this match, and it makes them both feel much better if you do that. So I don't know, just a booking thought in my head. One thing that I do want to bring up before we get ready to close up shop here, appreciate you guys being with us on this show. The tribute to Eddie and Ray SummerSlam 2005 that AJ and Dominic did was just, dude, it was incredible. And I'm not even AJ could have not even come out in a lowrider. That didn't matter. This gear right here from both of these guys, you got Dominic wearing the colors that Ray wore, and then you've got AJ looking exactly like Eddie with down to the boots, making his kick pad look like Eddie's boots. Bro, it just even AJ not even wearing gloves in the match. It was just so good. And then the boot stuff, that was fantastic. The match might not have been a 5-star classic, but just the nostalgia of that and being able to do that kind of stuff. I mean, they hit a home run for me, man.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Like you mentioned, everything that they did to tribute Eddie and tribute Ray.
Yep.
I mean, listen, it's one of the most iconic SummerSlam matches. Maybe for all the wrong reasons in some ways, and the right reasons in some ways, having that. But I mean, everything about it was great. I love the spot when they did the chair shot where Dominic acted like he got hit, tossed it to AJ, and then AJ put it on his head and lay down. Just stuff like that. Yep. It kills me every time. It cracks me up every time. They did a great job with it.
Yep. Yeah, they really did, for sure. All right, man. I think that's going to do it for this show. I mean, there were some other things that happened on Monday Night Raw. I mean, Charlotte and Alexa retaining their tag team championship. I thought for sure they were going to lose them and split up tonight. I mean, that's just the way it normally works, but it didn't. What's your opinion on Becky Lynch's new theme music? I feel like we have to get adjusted to it. She's had the same music for her whole career.
I know. I like it. I think it fits the new heel character better.
Yep.
I do miss the old theme. When the old theme comes back, the place will explode when the music drops.
Oh yeah.
But the new theme is really, really good. I really like it.
All right. City Kitty is not up on the Eddie Guerrero era. She needs to go back and watch. Listen. We'll tell you 3 matches to go back and watch City Kitty. And Andy, you chime in with any others that I might miss. Here's the 3. You want to go back and watch the ladder match that we just talked about with Ray and Eddie from SummerSlam 2005. It's the famous custody of Dominic ladder match. Go watch it. It's just glorious. You need to go watch Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle from WrestleMania 20. It's probably Eddie's best actual wrestling match ever. That one right there. And then the third one is a personal favorite of mine that not too many people are going to talk about. It is a ladder match from Monday Night Raw, and I don't remember the date, but it is Eddie Guerrero versus Rob Van Dam for the Intercontinental Championship. And it is just, oh my gosh, it is incredible. Yeah. Those are the 3 that I'm going to recommend. And I've already thought of like 2 more in my head. So I'll let you, I know which one. Go ahead. You give.
Well, I don't know the year, but Eddie and Ray from WCW, was that 1997
Halloween Havoc
97?
1997. Yes.
That match is ridiculous. Honestly, him and Brock when he won the title,
No Way Out.
the
2004.
moment.
Yep.
The moment itself is great, and then one just because I am a hardcore freak. Him and JBL, man. I mean, him and JBL. They you have the infamous spot of him cutting a little too deep and just blood everywhere. But buddy, that match is brutal and it's fantastic. I love it.
Yes, it is. Yes. So there's plenty. There's 6 matches right there. That'll take you up to
really any Eddie match you can't really go wrong with.
Yeah, that's true. The one that we should have gotten at WrestleMania 20, that would have been 22. Eddie and HBK. That's where we were headed.
Oh man.
And we didn't get it, but that's okay. That's all right. We had to replace him with Vince McMahon, and it's fine. That's Vince's best match ever. So Mr. WrestleMania gives him that, of course.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it. That's going to do it for this week's episode. We appreciate you guys being tuned in. Andy, anything else to add, man, before we sign off?
No, just a crazy weekend in wrestling. Did not expect to have this kind of a weekend, to be real honest with you. But, we're heading off to the back half of the year now, which is crazy because I feel like we just got through the Rumble and now we blink and we're past SummerSlam. But I'm excited. I mean, listen, we only got a couple months left with Cena, so I'm curious to see what the last couple months are going to look like. Who his last opponent is really going to be, because I think there's a lot of options. But I'm excited to see where we go from here.
I'll be interested to see how the back half of the year turns out. I'll be interested to see who steals the spotlight in the back half of the year. I'll be interested just to see how all this works. And let me just say this. I'm going to throw this picture back up here real quick. Where is this? Let me find it. This one right here will work. That championship just looks like it belongs on Seth Rollins. Like when I see it, it just looks like it belongs on Seth Rollins. I can't tell you how excited I am that he is champion again. It fits to me. And that is not a knock on CM Punk. That is not a knock on him losing at all. It's funny that it happened to CM Punk, but it's not a knock.
He'll win it back.
I just don't know that he will. I
think he wins it back from Seth.
I don't know that he will. I think Roman wins it from Seth, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, because he needs another title, so he can go away for another year.
He's either going to win it from Seth or Cody, so pick your poison.
I don't know about either one of them.
Okay. All right. Well, that will be for a second half of the year story, and we'll see how all that plays out and how it works.
One thing I do want to bring up is, when can we start wearing hats like Xavier Woods?
Bro, oh my gosh.
That whole thing tonight was a great running gag, and when Penta put it on,
when Penta put it on, it was hilarious. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Man, yeah, that was fantastic when he did that. Oh man. Oh, buddy.
I just want to get a hat like Xavier Woods now.
Of course you do. When they were zoomed in on that shot, I was like, what in the world is happening right now? And then they zoomed out. I was like, oh, good grief.
You know how heavy that thing had to be?
I'm sure it was huge. I mean, I wonder how they got the thing there.
I have no idea.
I had to put that thing in a semi.
It wouldn't fit in a car.
No, it would not fit in a car.
You probably had to fly it.
No, I bet they special ordered it and somebody had to deliver it to the building in like a box truck or something. Oh, you need a forklift to lift that thing up. All right. All right, man. That's going to do it for another edition of Squared Circle Radio. We appreciate you guys being tuned in with us. Drop those comments and questions. Give us a follow on social media. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It means more than you know to us. For Mr. Andy York, my name is Chris Belcher, and this has been another edition of Squared Circle Radio. We will catch you guys down the road.